Hello and welcome to VOD of Consciousness with Sientir. I am Sientir, and while I'm here, you can support me on my Patreon at patreon.com/Sientir. Okay, so last time, as I am recalling, I just finished the... last time I played Fury 3, but last time on this, Guild Wars 1 times, I was just finishing up the... main story part for the Ebon Vanguard and had picked up some quests. So I want to start doing some of them. So let's do that. Actually, where does this... Okay, Grothmore Wardowns. Cool. I've had an interesting discussion in a comments section, which led me to doing some thinking. But the discussion specifically was talking about Guild Wars 2 and some of the cooldowns of some of the skills. Particularly the elite skills, which have a rather lengthy cooldown. Let's scoot this over here. Don't they do thing? I'm going to interrupt my thought to see what's going on here. Sergeant Westar says, at attention, troops, intelligence reports that Rake Blazeclaw, one of the Charr's leaders, has been sighted fleeing to the southeast and attempting to rally Charr forces there. This is our opportunity to strike. Removing Blazeclaw from the equation presents us with one less formidable foe, while sowing further confusion within the Charr's ranks. Chance, you'll be on point for this mission. We will be counting on your blade to see us through when we catch up with Blazeclaw. Chance says, I already have the perfect plan. Find the Charr and then stab him. Chance, the gods favor some with brains and brawn. You are not one of those so blessed. Let's see, where was this? You're not one so blessed. Planning will be handled by our tactical officer, Jen Valefield. Undoubtedly, this will be no simple pursuit. The Charr will have traps waiting for us. Another reason to have Jen in the company. She's, disarmingly adept at disabling traps. Jen says, that's still funny, sir. The sergeant says, lastly, on rear guard, we have Brent Poltroon. He's here because I have no other men at my disposal. Brave Brent Poltroon says, how many times do I gotta tell you? It's brave Brent Poltroon. I mean, ready to guard your rear, sir. Sergeant says, yes, well, be that as it may, please try not to abandon our unit and run away this time. And brave Brent Poltroon says, the rear guard is the most dangerous task. They always take out the guy in the back first. You said that's why you put me there. Sergeant said, I said no such thing. Everyone, make yourselves ready. This will be our last chance to gather what supplies we can before setting off in pursuit. Move out. And apparently move out means go into Long Eyes Ledge. I believe there's something with them that comes up later, but anyway, yeah, back to what I was saying before I got distracted by random story type things happening. Oh, I've got another one of those things going on. Is there a... Okay, so I just need to go over towards there. So we were discussing because I was watching, or it's in the comments for Wooden Potatoes doing one of the dungeons, the Sorrow's Embrace dungeon solo. He's starting doing that, and he was needing to wait for his elite to cool down. And just discussing sort of the idea of waiting for skills, because, like, fundamentally, you can do that, right? Once you're out of combat, you can just wait, nothing's attacking you, and just wait for all your skills to recharge. So, from a design standpoint, if that's optimal to do, then players are incentivized to spend a lot of their time sitting around not doing anything. And the cooldowns only really matter for combat anyway. And that got me kind of thinking a little bit about some of the design of the game, just more broadly speaking, with the way that they use WarCraft 3 style ultimates. For those that are not familiar, WarCraft 3 is an RTS game that kind of spawned the MOBA genre thanks to its robust map editor capabilities, allowing people to be able to make Dota, in particular, Defense of the Ancients, which became extremely popular. But the design of that game as an RTS, it was a strange one because it had kind of RPG elements into it, where you could make heroes that would get experience points, get up to 10 levels, etc. Once they got to level 6, you could unlock a spell per level. If you get a skill point, once you got enough experience, usually through combat, you could get spells, or you could get skills that would, I mean, be very powerful for max level skills. And in that, you're kind of effectively on all the time. You could get up to 3 heroes, as I recall. But that model was duplicated in Dota, because what you'd have is you'd have like 3 standard skills and an ultimate skill, so you'd have 4 spells in total. And that model, like I said, got duplicated in Dota, and that, I think, probably influenced the ArenaNet Guild Wars 2 designers when they were making the game to use that sort of model, because it's popular in MOBAs and stuff. But the thing is, in those sorts of games, you're kind of always on, right? There's at any given moment you could be in combat. The cooldown matters the entire time. Whereas in Guild Wars 2, because like you can't just stand around in a MOBA waiting for your spells to cool down. That's poor gameplay, and it is a fundamentally bad idea to do that. But you can... Oh, red iris flowers just randomly spawn out here. That's cool. But you can do that in Guild Wars 2. You can just stand around waiting. You can see some of the mantids popping back up because they have that annoying habit. You can, in Guild Wars 2, just stand around waiting for your spells to cool down. So having really long recharge ultimate-style elites enables this. And so it kind of got me thinking of, like, is that actually good gameplay for this type of game? And I'm not entirely convinced that it is. Because you do have that sort of mentality of either you need to save it, or we're about to have some plot here. Anton says, "Silence. You move with all the grace of a one-legged moa. Do you want to give us away?" Anton says, I see. Captain Langmar sent you. To bring back my body, no doubt. Concern touches me like a dagger, but I am more than capable to handle this situation. However, you are here now. Tell me, do you know why assassins wield 2 blades? He's got 3. Because we have only 2 hands. I'll not turn away extra sets of hands, no matter the source. Let us fight Scout Windslow, but tread carefully. Okay, so we need to kind of proceed. But anyway, like I was saying, using that sort of style, like it works really well in WarCraft 3, where you're sort of like always on, right? When you choose to use the skill to turn the tide of a battle, you're potentially not allowing yourself to use that skill to turn the tide of a later battle. And it's very reasonable in a game that's always on like that, where you have to make decisions like that and that sort of thing. And again, it makes a lot of sense in a MOBA for similar reasons, where you are always on, as it were, and how you manage stuff with combat and all that sort of stuff matters a lot. You can see Scout Winslow's over there. He says, "You don't want to eat me. I'm hallucinogenic, like a toad, a really big toad. Ha, I have you all where I want you. My plan is working perfectly. Wait for it. Wait for it." So obviously things have not gone well for him. But so anyway, it just got me thinking about this sort of stuff, like what actually would be optimal. Like, if that idea makes sense, would it make sense to have skills recharge quickly when you're out of combat? But then that leads to situations where, as this other commenter pointed out, players would try to game that system by trying to get out of combat in order to recharge their skills. That's potentially not optimal. What's with these Grawl? So it was just a really interesting conversation. It got me thinking a lot about, like, okay, well, what would be best here? And what would lead to the best sort of gameplay, and all of that sort of stuff. So it was really an interesting conversation, and it's really neat to try to think through what leads to the most engaging design here. Got some rep points for taking down that boss. A lot of these Charr are a little underwhelming at this point. I don't know if I should be trying to do anything with those all or not. So it's just one of those things. I really enjoy game design, and it's interesting to think about, like, what leads to an experience that incentivizes the player to be most engaged, to have the most fun. And something like it's optimal to stand around waiting for your skills to recharge between every battle is sort of in that category. It's kind of like how, like, in this game, you have potentially, like, standing around waiting for your energy to regenerate and stuff like that, or your health to regenerate. But there's, like, a lot of games where it's just, like, you can fully restore yourself between battle if you want to take enough time doing it. And so the design then just becomes more tedious as a result. And is that really what's optimal? So it's just interesting thinking about some of that sort of stuff. And what leads to the best gaming experience, and what is your game incentivizing, and what does your design tell players they should be doing, and so that's the sort of stuff that I like to think about. Okay, that was a kind of a pointless epidemic. Okay, and Scout Windslow says, thank you. I thought I was doomed. Doomed! Pull yourself together, man, says Anton. Are you a soldier or a Murgoyle frolicking in high tide? Murgoyles are kind of water gargoyles. Scout says, sir, a soldier, sir. Yes, sir, a soldier. Then tell us what you learned, Scout. Yes, sir. Your lead was solid, sir. Before I was captured, I heard one of the Charr mention Rend Ragemauler. It appears he has been recalled to counteract their recent losses. Anton says, so he is here, finally, after all these years. Quickly, tell me about the Charr that spoke of Rend Ragemauler. That's all I know, sir. I was captured before I had a chance to get in closer. And Anton says, useless. You had better serve the Vanguard as a pastry chef. Very well, I shall simply have to rip out the tongues of every Charr I find until one flaps loose with the information. You, Carmen Angelus, inform Captain Langmar that I am proceeding on ahead. I have business with Ragemauler. The quest is already updated, but, you know, whatever. Okay, let's go inform the good captain of what's going on. Pull my camera in a little bit. Pulled it really far out there. Actually, how's my inventory? Oh, it's doing fine. It's doing fine. Need to turn that in at some point. Actually, that reminds me. I need to go grab the Victos Mall that I discovered that I had on another character. Okay, Captain Langmar says, my men are alive and well? That is welcome news. We can ill afford to lose any men at this important juncture. Thank you for your report. You shall be justly compensated for your efforts. I am concerned, though, that Anton did not return with you. You say he mentioned Rend Ragemauler. He and I shall talk of this when he returns. Anton went to the Charr for information. He always was a strange individual. Claims he was imprisoned in Sirmia and only escaped when the city fell. Still, he has served the Ebon Vanguard well. Whenever the issue of Rend Ragemauler comes up, he withdraws. He loses focus on everything except revenge. I do not know the details, but can guess that this Ragemauler took something precious from him. His obsession will kill him if he cannot temper it with common sense. Go, find Anton. Help him work through his rage with the Charr. See that he returns to us in one piece. We cannot afford to lose such a skilled fighter. Rage against the dying of the Charr. That's a, I don't know, Rage Against the Machine reference or something? Okay, so I need to meet him in Delata Uplands, it looks like. Do I want to turn on the Monumental Tapestry? What do I do with this hammer grip? I really wish there was a weapons mod trader. Well, I can turn in some of this stuff to open inventory space later. I'll hang on to it because it'll be useful. Oh, I could have opened that locked chest. I didn't even think about it. Okay, that's enough of me babbling about nonsense. Let's go over here. Because what I want to do is grab this Victos Mall. You can see the reason why I want it is it has just a fine set of stats. You usually want Furious for your what am I? What is? Sure, whatever. You usually want Furious for your hammers, or Vampiric, I guess, also works. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that would be better put in that spot. I don't... let's just put this hammer grip in there instead. I'm just kind of like a little scatterbrained. Ooh, Undertakers. That's not worth anything. I can tell you that already. I think I'm just going to go find him. There's not really a reason to hang around. That's a ranger. I do like in this game that you can identify by armor types what profession someone is. That's a complaint that I have about... So, it's a complaint, but it's also understandable. In Guild Wars 2, that all of the... that the professions are split into armor tiers rather than having unique armor per profession, because they have to make every piece of armor fit on all of the different body types of all of the male and female variants of every single race. So that's 10 different armor fittings. And so they need to like make 30 armor fittings, and it's just like, it's so much work to get all of that put together. So it makes a lot of sense that they wouldn't make separate appearances for each profession, and it's totally understandable, but it is a little disappointing, even though it's extremely reasonable that they did things that way. So it's a decision that I would make myself, where I are in their position trying to do what they were trying to do. Oh, goodness. What is... Oh, they're filled with these blinding cloaks. It's very obnoxious is what it is. Nope, don't need to go over there. Some of these will pop up, probably, but I'm here to talk to Anton. He says, the call of battle was too much to ignore, was it? You were drawn here like a griffin to its mating grounds. What a weird analogy. I welcome the extra talons. Come. One of these Charr knows where I can find Rend Ragemauler, and I intend to extract that information. What am I even having Jin do? She's just doing a bog standard barrage build. I should make her more interesting at some point. Okay, so I need to go hunt down some Charr. Oh man, I didn't even give her her last... Okay, well, whatever, that's been fixed. Okay, let's... I need to go this direction. Okay, good. I have the thing for defeating enemies. I appreciate that there's enemies other than Charr here. I kind of wish they hadn't made the mantids have a chance to pop back up after death, though. It's a very annoying trait. Because it's like, once you defeat them... Like, I wouldn't mind it if it was a little bit quicker. It's just that it's a bit of a delay. That it takes a while for your entourage to start moving in this game, especially if you have a bunch of minions and stuff. You can see someone was... The Master of Whispers was way back there. Raising minions and stuff, and... Anyway. Ooh! Cryo Wing Shielder. What is this boss's elite? It's smiting and protection prayers? Well, whatever. It went down. That's the important thing. Okay, so it looks like we've got a group of allied Charr up here. I imagine they are very quest-oriented. You seek the Ragemauler? Tell me, does your kind always seek death? By the order of the shamans, you'll die. Okay, well, whatever. I mean, they just go down so quickly. Where is this red iris flower even at that I have managed to locate? Oh, there's a locked chest over there. Well, I mean... Do I have... No, 20 enemies slain is not enough. Oh, this doesn't even have... I might get attacked by a Molotov Rocktail. He's very dangerous. You'll find nothing here but pain and suffering. Etc., etc. Typical grandiose Charr type statements. I don't know what he has, but I'm spreading it. Because I can. Just need to go hunt down more. Really, fighting Molotov Rocktail would not be the worst. You get more experience points for defeating bosses. Or experience points. I mean, you do get more experience points for defeating bosses, don't get me wrong, but the phrase that I was really looking for is you get more experience points, or you get more rep points. That's what I was really trying to say. Why is this Blade Master just, like, standing there? I don't know. Some ill-fated attempts to maintain formation or something? I want to go talk to this Ebon Vanguard Scout. By the way, that might be Kralkatorric's spine over there. I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. There's definitely speculation. I mean, look where we're at, too. We're, like, way up here.
Are you still here?
Yay! Some Vanguard rep points. Okay. Not sure. Just defeating warbands to try to discover the location of this guy. All right. You know what? I need to make a thumbnail for this. And you know what that thumbnail is going to be? A thumbnail is going to be like that. There, thumbnail. Thumbnail taken. I just remembered that I need to do that. I'm like, oh, well, this is a good opportunity. Good old panic doing its thing of making the enemies completely unable to do anything. Panic is so ludicrously powerful. Man, these guys just go down so quickly. Apparently my party is pretty powerful. That's what I'm getting from this. Barbs is strong, that's for sure. I don't know. Maybe Acolyte Jin's doing more damage than I realized, too. That wouldn't surprise me. Okay. So is this group going to help us? The Ragemauler approaches. As we speak, he comes to Saknoth Valley. Are you so eager to die? Good. Now we have some definitive information about where to find this Ragemauler. Now, the question that I have is, can this information translate in a useful way to... Man, they just go down so quickly, it's hard to get stuff off. It's kind of incredible, actually. Anton says, at last, I have my answer. Saknoth Valley. For his help, I gave this Charr a quick death. For your help, I grant you reprieve from what must come next. Tell Captain Langmar where I have gone. This is simply something I must do alone. My life has led, inexorably, to this moment. A life lived too long in pain over those whose lives and loves and dreams were cut short. Farewell. And with that, he leaves us, and we need to go see Captain Langmar for our reward of a little bit of Vanguard experience and a lot of other stuff. I actually kind of want to go hunt down Molotov Rocktail if I can, before going back to Captain Langmar and bringing this episode to a close. Oh, I love seeing the trees in kind of the foggy distance. Oh, yep. You can see as the render distance goes and the hills come into view, and it's fascinating. Yeah. Be interesting to know if that is supposed to be Kralkatorric's spine. They're definitely thinking about it, that sort of stuff at this point in the game. Yep, there's Molotov Rocktail. Big ol' Siege Devourer boss. Just a wild one. It's a good idea to get up into his face so he can not do certain skills. He has a lot of oomph. Let's zoom out so we can see more than just his glowingness. Yay! I got 100 rep points for defeating him. Okay. I just wanted to get those bonus rep points. So let's go talk to Captain Langmar, and let's go ahead and bring this episode to a close, shall we? I think that sounds reasonable. 55% more adrenaline when you hit a Charr. And maybe between episodes I will tweak Acolyte Jin. That sounds reasonable. Hey, Captain Langmar. I was afraid of this. Anton has become enslaved by his emotions, driven by obsession into rash action. I must deal with the situation before his actions bring ruin down upon us all. Thank you for your assistance in this matter. I fear I will have to call upon you again soon. Here we are engaged in a battle for our very survival, and Anton goes off on a quest for personal vengeance. I will have us hide for this, and by all accounts, Rend Ragemauler is a threat we would have to deal with. We shall help Anton with his vendetta, then we can turn his attention to other things. Anton is searching Saknoth Valley for his quarry. Find him and bring this ugly matter to a close. And you can see Anton will join our party. One less Charr, one more fighter. Win-win. Rage, fading. What did you say? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring the episode to a close there. And until next time, everyone, take care. Apparently I mistyped wave. Until next time, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.